Mariah.
Hey, Monique.
It is summertime where we live, and it is beautiful. We wait 9 months
We
out
sure
of the
do.
year here where we live for this time of year. So we're doing something special. We're taking time off.
We are practicing what we preach.
Yes, girl.
And what we've said so many times on this podcast, that you need to have grace and space.
And rest.
And we're doing all of that.
Yes.
And that's why for the next few weeks, you're going to see in your feed, wherever you listen to the Heart and Soul podcast, some of our best of episodes.
Yes. And these episodes are episodes we stand behind because we love them, and they're worth a re-listen, right?
Yes.
Or rewatch.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. These are episodes that we think that our listeners could probably stand to listen to over and over.
Because we do.
I have some of those from my favorite podcasts.
Yes.
So we hope that you enjoy some repeat episodes of the Heart and Soul podcast, and picture us on the beach in Duluth, Minnesota.
I'm going to be in my boat with my hair flowing.
Oh, yeah. I might be somewhere
on
in Europe.
you're going to be on your boat with me.
I love it. Thank you so much for always tuning in and supporting the Heart and Soul podcast. And we hope that you find some time this summer to rest and relax too.
With space and grace. We love you.
Hey there. Have you ever asked yourself the question about a buzzword you've been hearing recently? What the heck is a mastermind?
I know I did years ago.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
On today's episode, we are going to unpack what is a mastermind, something that Monique and I know very well, and is really the background of this entire podcast, how we got here today. So looking forward to talking about what's a mastermind. Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
and Monique,
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.
So for today's episode, Monique, you and I are going to unpack what's a mastermind. And I think it's only fitting to share a quote that is prominently on our website, the Heart and Soul Mastermind, from an author that I listened to years ago. It's been a long time kind of celebrity in the business and mindset world of books, Napoleon Hill. So you might be familiar with that name. But I remember very distinctly hearing him talk about a mastermind. And the quote is this: the mastermind principle: 2 or more people actively engaged in the pursuit of a definite purpose with a positive mental attitude constitute an unbeatable force.
Mic drop.
Damn. Yeah. And this was written years ago. This is like in the 1920s. Like, I'll follow up in the show notes with more information about where you can actually read this quote. But I remember hearing that and thinking, like, need to get myself a mastermind.
Yeah, right. Like, what is that? I need that.
I personally function really well with others in teamwork, but more related to thought leadership teamwork.
Peer thoughts.
Peer teamwork.
Yeah.
And just as the universe would have it, for me on my personal journey, it wasn't, a month later that a coach I was working with said, I have an opportunity. Would you be interested in joining a mastermind? And I was like, oh, hello there.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
read the quote and there it dropped.
Yeah. So I took that opportunity by the horns and I joined this mastermind group. It was hosted by a local entrepreneurial agency here in our city, Duluth, Minnesota. And lo and behold, as the fellow women, this was all women in the group, walked through the door, I saw this force of a human. Turns out her name was Monique Forcier.
Yes.
Take a seat. And I just knew from that moment, like I had a lot to learn from you and that I would make sure that someday we were friends. So
stalker. No,
that's
just
how
kidding.
I
Totally
found my way to a mastermind.
Interesting.
And also found you.
Yes.
So I just really believed that if I could put myself around other really interesting, successful, motivated, positive attitude people, which is a really important part of it.
Yeah.
That I would learn and grow from that. And I think my coach knew that I that's what I needed at the time as well. So that opportunity presented itself. So that's what a mastermind is in terms of how I first learned about it and how I got there. And I would love to throw it over to you, kind of share your own journey with the concept and how you got there.
Yeah. I have worked in such a had worked in such a male-dominated industry for so long. And it gets so lonely at the top when you are the boss. I started my first company when I was 26 years old and was the boss since I was 26 years old. And then being in a male-dominated industry, I recognized that I needed fellow women business leaders and entrepreneurs, but how the heck was I going to find them? I just needed people who aligned with me, who I could bounce things off with in a confidential environment. And so I think I also I hadn't heard about it from a coach. I had heard about it from the local organization who was putting it on. I think I had gone and done something with them, and they're like, you should sign up for this women's leadership thing. And so I too went in needing collaboration, fellowship, community amongst other strong women, and walked in, saw you right away, and I was like, there's my girl.
I had a broken wing at that point.
Yes, you did.
I had a broken arm. Yeah, I was like really sad about it.
Yeah.
And the group helped me through that. So
yeah, and so interestingly, too, like the year that happened, I went through like a lot of personal things, and I was totally in this for business. I was not in this for personal reasons whatsoever because it was promoted to me for connecting on a business level.
Yeah,
right.
Same. Yep.
Not a networking thing. Different. A more of a peer coaching, peer elevation sort of experience. And that said, I went into it all business mindset, business, how blah, blah, blah with other fellow women, and then had just crash and burn life experiences that the group supported me through, which looking back, I'm like, thank God I had the group because it was another support system in my life, even though that's not what it was intended for, that helped like lift me up. And then I think I took a pause for a year, and then again, the same thing happened when I went back.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
I had another really like life-shifting thing. And so, it seems like when I'm going to shift masterminds.
It has your back.
It totally does. And it's not like, oh God, should I be in a mastermind? I'm going to shift. It's like, thank God I was in the mastermind because shifting was going to happen regardless.
So just kind of going back to like a structure of what is a mastermind. So in, the original quote and where that mastermind principle came from, it's 2 or more people.
Yes.
And different groups run masterminds. Like there's anywhere from like very rigid, structured, the way that the flow of the meeting itself happens, the way you get invited to be part of it. Like there's like the very high structured, rigid, business only focused end of the spectrum. And we were in something that was a little bit more structured and business focused.
Yes.
And then there's, a full spectrum of like, could this also be focused in on other parts of life? And I think that's becoming more common, that they were born in the business world, but have really become mastermind of whatever topic it is that the collective wants to pursue.
Yes.
And we saw sort of like the sparkling of that in our time together in the mastermind. And I stuck with that same group for 2 seasons, and then on to a third with another leader, and like I've definitely kind of been in one repetitively since then. That was like 5 years ago. But we both identified as we were in these groups together that we appreciated it wasn't only business.
Yes.
Because of the things we were going through personally.
Yes.
And we saw that there was opportunity to create a group, and that's how we're here today.
Yes.
That embraced both of those things. That both said, you are a boss lady, entrepreneur, leader, all of that. But you are also
a human,
a woman, a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, blah, 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 all these roles that we play and that have impact in our lives. Like we got to put those two together. And in any given month, in any given day, like one of them is going to need more of your attention.
Yes.
And so what's been kind of cool is to see how the concept or the principle of a mastermind, even though I think historically rooted in business, has had an amazing application in a blended
Absolutely.
role.
And I think that was like the one thing that we really wanted, the agenda we wanted to push.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like this embodiment piece, fully embodiment. It's not because like I went in there with just this business mindset the first year, like all about just business, business, business. And that was great. And that's no problem. The group supported me. But in the end, that's not what I really needed the support with the most. And we wanted to foster an environment with wherever you're at, because I felt a little bit of like hesitation, like, oh shit, I'm talking about my business or my personal stuff again. And I know I'm supposed to be on business, but right now I don't have the capacity to deal with the business stuff because that's the easy part.
Yeah.
I need to talk about this personal part, right? And so I felt a little bit like shameful. And so you and I really wanted to foster a judgment-free zone where if today the thing is like, I just got myself here to the group.
Yeah.
That's where my baseline is.
Yeah. I showed up.
Right.
Let's go.
And we round of applause the participant for just like literally showing up. We wanted to like normalize that and be okay with that. Yeah. So when you went there, you're not like bringing your profit and loss sheet and like, well, here's my numbers. Here's the goals I achieved that I set for us since last month. We didn't want it to have that sort of vibe. Hence the name too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we met in a mastermind that was primarily business focused. We made it about more than that, just ourselves and our growth of our friendship and relationships with everybody else. It happened organically. And it's, women that we'll be connected to forever through that experience. And I think that some of the things, so then we said, I think we could kind of do this. Like it occurred to us, and there is always a leader. So there's got to be a facilitator. I think that's the other thing is like, a mastermind is not like a group of friends gathering for event session. A mastermind is like you pay for it, you commit to it, it is on your calendar.
Skin in the game.
You have skin in the game. You are regularly committed to attend. And you are accountable to a group that like if you don't show up, they're not getting what you could contribute. And so there's just really like you're invested. It's an investment of your time and your financial resources. And there's typically is a structure. There's some sort of structure to make sure that everybody that is participating feels that they get time
they get a value.
and get value out of it. Yep. So there were things that we learned in that experience that we were definitely wanting to keep. Like we knew we wanted to keep the investment, the skin in the game, a time structure, a consistency of meetings and things like that. And so we were pretty clear on that. Like if we are going to set out to create this, here's some things that worked really well for us. And then we aligned on the things that we wanted to do or take in a different direction.
Yes.
And that's really at the point where we can sort of transition today's chat about what is the heart and soul mastermind? Because I think establishing, it's a gathering of like-minded individuals with a positive attitude that propel life in a solid direction. Like you could, that's basic principle. What is the heart and soul mastermind has become what we're really living for and have had now 2 years under our belt of facilitating.
Yep. I can't even believe we're going into our third
season.
It's just like, whoa.
Where, I just remember like it flowed so easily when we said we could do this. Here's what we want it to be. We sat at lunch one day and just like penciled it all out.
Back of the napkin, baby.
Yep, absolutely. And we looked at like, what did what did we want to do differently? And we created that. So maybe Monique, do you want to share a little bit about like what our structure looks like?
Yes.
And how we have both created an initial structure but evolved it?
Yeah. Yeah. So initially, we wanted to take, oh gosh, I'm gonna blank right now. Pre like documents that you like fill out ahead of time, more than just the first session. We wanted that to be something kind of almost like, where are you at today? Fill this out before.
Do some homework
Yeah,
beforehand.
right.
We kind of
beforehand,
that had
right.
been our experience, and we were like, okay, you should come into this sort of
Yeah,
prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everybody reads it beforehand, and we thought like that we needed that. Then we set the structure. It was usually meeting like once a month.
Yep.
But for us, with our schedules and yours more in particular, we decided take the summers off.
And we live in a place where like if we don't take the summer off, generally speaking, you miss out on the best time of the year.
Yes.
I
And it's-
happen to also work in an industry that is
Yes.
summer heavy, but
And
it was more
also-
about everybody's needs.
Yes. Also, I feel like if you have people who have children at home, it can be really challenging for them to juggle all of the things
Yeah.
and then make a meeting.
Right.
So we defined right away that was going to be different. That was going to be a different marker than what we had experienced, that we were going to take, I think it's July, August off.
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
June,
we
July,
did a
August?
10 month,
Yeah,
a 10
month,
month
thank you.
calendar.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Starting January, taking July and
Yes.
August off, and
And
ending in December.
we then offer private one-on-ones if they choose to take us up on that. We thought that just so that they can stay connected, and like if they are trying to achieve some goals, we are helping keep them on task and being their accountability buddies.
And another thought that had gone into that when we talked about taking that time off was it was sort of landing perfectly in the middle of the experience where you've been unpacking a lot
Yeah.
in the beginning, just like filling out
Mm-hmm.
the group and, you know, kind of sharing and vulnerability, all of that, and like maybe setting some intentions, some goals. Now you need a little time and space to work on it, to think
Yes.
about it, to let it sit into
To live your life. Yeah, you got to live your life a little.
And
Yeah.
I find that model results in the fall. People come back like
On fire.
Yeah,
They're like, I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am clear now on
Mhm.
what I am chasing
Yeah.
and ready to rock. And so that was really interesting outcome I didn't necessarily see in the beginning. It was more about scheduling. And now I see where that space that we created has actually been really healthy.
Agreed. So we took that forward, and then we also do like a set day.
Yeah.
It's like I think we started with like the first Wednesday of every month, and we do it from 9 to noon. And we
Yep.
just like when someone signs up, we send them a calendar invite, we block it all off, right?
And part of joining the group is agreeing that you will make these dates work.
Yes.
And if you miss maybe one along the way or can't join, you know, some people will just join
Mhm.
virtually, which has actually worked out really well. But like you're committed to these dates, you clear your calendar, you're there.
Yeah.
We really liked that you went into the year just knowing when it was happening versus we used to start the session with like, well, what does everybody want to meet? And we all
Yes.
know how frustrating that is.
Yes.
Because nobody's going to align
No.
on all the dates.
That's true. We did actually
Yeah.
have an experience where it was kind of like, well, when should we do our next one? And it was like we could never get the dates.
Nobody could ever
in.
agree.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
couldn't agree. So we
that
just
was
set
important
it.
to us.
Yeah, that's right.
This
we
is
do
when it's
set it.
happening.
And then we know.
Yep.
We know with our schedules, right? Yeah.
So we're committed.
Yep. So then also in a mastermind, there is a retreat that happens early on. And this, by retreat, I'm not saying like we go to, I don't know, some exotic place, which we
Well,
have.
not in the first
Yeah,
year.
not in the first year. Right. But we get away for 2 days and we work intensively on whatever subject matter you and I decided. So that is done early in this season. And that's something that I think all of the masterminds we were in had in place. Is that an accurate?
Yeah, I think they were always like a little later though.
Okay.
And what we recognized was that the retreat was an important moment early in the bonding of the group
Yes.
to
Letting
break
the guards down.
some
Yeah.
guards, some
Mhm,
barriers to
mhm.
get really comfortable with people. Like
Yes.
sleeping in the same room with someone, you get
You
more
get to know
comfortable.
'em.
You have those late night giggles. I
Yep.
think that's what did it for us.
I know,
So
the giggles.
I think that was a learning too that we realized like timing wise. So we start in January, we do a retreat in April.
Yes.
Got a couple of meetings, start to break down the barriers. We do that retreat. And then that next session right before break is usually pretty heavy hitting.
Yes.
Because you're now like, okay, I'm really comfortable with these people.
Yes. And I can be honest and vulnerable and open. So we do that. And then the format for every month.
Yeah, talk quickly first about the size of the group, because that's a
Thank you.
topic that really ranges. Like how many
Yes.
people are in the room and how much
Right.
time does everybody get on their own stuff?
We originally, I'm so overly ambitious. And so she's like, well, how many people? I'm like, I don't know, like 10 or 12. And, we were doing our first year and we had, I don't know, like 5 maybe, right? I think.
Mhm.
And we were like, oh, okay. And some people continued on, some people didn't. The second year we had 5 and we're like, 5 is our number.
5's the number.
Any more than 5, even though there's 2 facilitators.
Yep.
Well, first of all, we wouldn't have the time to get through everyone's touch points and needs. But second of all, like, we want to just make sure everyone, like, that there's spaciousness, and I don't know. It felt like that's the right flow for us.
Yeah.
Is 5
No, we
people.
arrived naturally at our number.
Yeah.
I remember being like, okay, we're going to launch this thing. We're going to ask people if they want to join, and like just hoping like anybody would
Yeah.
say yes. I
We
want
have
to be
this great
part of this with
concept,
you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we let the universe dictate who they were. We really did. We just leaned in and believed that like the right people would
Show.
sign up and
Yep.
show, and they sure did. And
Yeah.
it's been absolutely incredible
Magical.
journey.
Yeah.
And we were like, I mean, I guess it ended up at 5, so we'll make that work. And amazingly, like that just truly is the number.
It
That's
really is.
been consistent.
Yes.
It's enough, but it's not too much.
Yes.
And everybody gets their fair time to share and to be listened to and supported. And I love that, because I can't imagine in our group and the topics that we discuss, like everybody gets 30 seconds. Like, I don't know, just that wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
So,
Right. How do you summarize a month in 30 seconds?
yeah, exactly.
How?
So intentionality about how we structured this I
Yes.
think is what we're trying to convey here today, but we put a lot of thought into that, and we let the universe guide us in many ways too. But now we know each season, we have 5 slots available for a new group.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
those
know-
are important. I mean,
Yes.
now I truly feel that the value of them, I'm so rooted in that. Like, these are 5 really special slots for people to change their lives.
Absolutely.
And we get to be facilitators, co-facilitators
Yes.
of that experience.
It is magical. I agree. So the other thing, like every month when we show up, we kind of do a quick round the table, like one word, how are you today?
Check
right?
in.
Yep, check in. And then you and I decided, and now this did not come off of anything else. We
Yep.
kind of came up with this concept, and I'm sure other people have done it, so I don't want to claim everything, but we decided we would talk on a subject that pertains to women business leaders and entrepreneurs.
Yep.
We would talk about it and then have group discussion. So that was literally different.
Yeah.
Before, when we did masterminds, the ones I participated in, and I know you as well, it was kind of like, well, is there a subject that you guys want to talk about next time? Mariah and I created what we believe are the subjects that are very important to where women are.
Yeah, they were
business.
repeated topics that we
Yes.
kept coming back to.
Us personally.
Yes, like burnout, balance. Like
Yeah.
they're not like they're words we've all heard and discussed, but like deserved some more in-depth conversation on the topic.
Yes.
And we strategically created a curriculum or a plan that each month was centered around a topic, and it flowed in an order that made sense too.
Yes.
And we put a lot of intentionality in that, and actually really stuck with it. So
Yes.
our first thought on that was spot on. And
Agreed.
I remember asking our group at the end of the first year, like, did you like this?
Mm-hmm.
Were these topics helpful to you? Did you like that we spent time on this? And it was pretty unanimous.
Yeah, they're like the topics are the golden thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay, hadn't thought about that. It gets you out of your own stuff in
Mhm.
that little section of the day. Gives you some new food for thought. I've taken a ton away from those conversations.
Agreed. And the nice thing is you and I go back and forth on presenting on
Yeah.
either our area of expertise or what we're going through in that moment or whatever the thing is. We are both pretty nimble on the subjects that we present on.
Yeah.
It's really nice how diverse the groups are, or the people are that are in the group. They get something out of the conversations.
Yeah, totally. I remember we did one on time management recently, and
Mhm.
I was like, whatever happened in that session, what everybody talked about, I left like so changed.
Fire.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
Right.
On a topic that it's just like time management. Yeah, we're all struggling.
Yeah.
So,
It's a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the topics take up like the first 20 minutes or so of the
And then there's some discussion.
time, and we allow just time to like discuss a general topic and
Yep.
let that flow. There's different questions that usually come along with that we do throw out beforehand to be like, just ponder this before you come today.
Right.
Easy homework.
Right.
And kind of back on that, when we first launched, we had this idea of pre-work. Kind of had some things, they were like, okay, come
Prep
in with
docs.
prep docs,
Yep.
pre-work, we'll
Yeah.
take notes. Like we were very like
Oh yeah, well,
official about it.
Ambition.
Where are we at about this today, Monique?
The prep docs and the note taking does not happen.
And why doesn't it happen?
I don't think anybody rates it.
I don't think that it's what it's all about.
Yeah, true.
I think that's what we realized.
Yeah.
Like in taking feedback from the group about like these exercises, the real meat of the experience is what happens in that 3 hours.
Yes.
Like we all know what we need to do when we leave.
Right.
Like, and we can hold each other accountable.
We're high functioning people.
Having to have a list.
Yep.
And I found we would take notes back and forth. We would take turns. And then when I was taking notes, I wasn't really listening.
Yes.
Like I was taking notes, but I wasn't engaged as a listener.
Yeah.
And I realized like that wasn't beneficial to the speaker. And so we kind of said, you know what, ladies, are you good if we stop taking notes and sending recap emails and we just really focus our time in this meeting? And it was, again, unanimously positive.
Yeah. And freed us up to.
Yeah. And that's kind of like counterculture in the mastermind world. But I think that we have proven that it has worked for our groups.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. So then what happens after we present and we have group discussion is then we go into what we call the hot seat. Now, this is the secret sauce, right?
The hot seat?
Yeah.
Hot seat's what it's all about.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
really scary for people in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's intimidating to turn the entire focus on one person.
With all these eyes looking at you.
Everyone sitting around the table.
Listening to what you're saying, yes.
And the question we typically ask is, what do you need from the group today?
Mm-hmm.
And then that person gets 5 minutes to just have at it.
Yeah, and again, remember, because this is heart and soul, not like business, your needs can be different from your neighbor's needs, which could be business related. Yours could be personal. Yours could be your kids. Who the heck knows? But that's what we wanted to foster is that openness to be able to speak about whatever it is.
Whatever you might need. Right. And some people come in having like really thought about it. And they're like, I have a specific need. And then the group's all over it. Or they just speak from the heart. And in that moment, the need, it's so amazing how you can hear someone speak from the heart and immediately like sense their need and sense how you can help. And you have 7 people in that room, all with different life experience, all coming with a different perspective. And then what happens after that 5 minutes?
Yes, the 5 minutes of the hot seat.
Yep. Is now we share each as members of the group what we can offer them.
Yeah, so feedback is what we call it.
Yeah, the feedback.
Feedback as far as like what they heard. And during the time when the person's in the hot seat, no one else is supposed to speak.
Yeah.
They can ask.
We try.
Yeah,
we try.
That can be challenging. We try to ask maybe clarifying questions if we're not quite sure or clear on something. But then when the person that's in the hot seat hears feedback, they're in the receiver mode. They're only allowed to listen and not even answer if a question is asked, to just sit there. A lot of times I will tell the participants, take notes.
Yeah.
This is like the gem here is what
down.
These other fellow business owners and entrepreneurs and leaders are telling you, right? Because maybe they've been through it, just different meat suit. I don't know, right?
Yep. And that is really hard for people not to talk. Oh my. I mean, I'm
Justify.
saying all of us
Justify.
And inevitably you get asked questions too. Like that's
Yes.
just part of it. Because again, it's clarification or, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? And like just to have to keep your mouth shut and receive it's an exercise of value in its own.
Agreed.
And then that feedback, it's just amazing. Like in some cases where you're on the exact same page as somebody else, like you're both like, yep, I hear this, I see this. And then someone else will come in with like out of left field idea or concept or like suggestion. And it's like, oh, that's brilliant.
Yes.
And you just, you absorb it all.
Totally.
And the healing that happens during that time of like, I now know how I'm going to leave here and move forward with the next step.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Again, it's a business move. I mean, the range of conversations in the group on any given day is wild.
Yeah.
From strict business to relationships to I don't personal, like whatever, like
Right.
it just next, what's the
Mhm.
topic? And it's pretty cool that we can speak on all of it because we're
Yeah.
living all of it.
The one thing that you and I do differently than other masterminds we participated in
Yes.
is we actually give feedback as the facilitators.
Yep.
And we have asked our group to make sure that we're not being ego
Overstepping.
driven,
Yep.
right? That we're not just doing this out of our thought that maybe our opinions matter, which is not why I do it, but they resoundingly said that like it is a very valuable piece because you and I have a lot of different life experiences that can add to the feedback, right?
Yep.
So because we were in groups where the facilitator so knowledgeable, so all of the things, and didn't give any feedback when we're just like, can you just
I just want to know what you think.
right? I just
right?
want to hear feedback about what you got.
Yeah.
So we do that, and
Yeah.
that also is a really that's like an honor to be able to share
Yeah.
with our groups too. But also there's that line too that we try really well not to cross too, right?
Yeah. I always try not to be sometimes I cannot help myself, but be the first to jump in because I'm
Right.
just like, I'm so zoned in on this.
Yeah.
But I do, actively think about everybody having time to talk. Like you and I do not dominate the conversation.
Not at all.
But there are times when we all know who's the more experienced on a
yes,
certain
a certain
topic.
subject. Yes.
Whether it's us or somebody else in the group. And we both had that same experience from the past of like, I don't see a world where I couldn't participate. I
Yeah.
feel too strongly about what I could share, how I
Right.
could help.
I have a life experience that is exactly
Like,
going to help
I'm
them
going to
here.
keep that under wraps.
Right.
I don't feel right about that.
Right.
So it was really good after the first year to get the feedback that was that valuable and has allowed us to just even lean more into like a comfort level with providing that. And oh my God, like it's so cool. It's so cool what happens in that container and that
I
space
know.
that we
It's
create
the magic.
of vulnerability and just like unpacking. Just
Mhm.
like throw the suitcase on the ground and let
Uh-huh.
everybody help you pack it back up
Yep.
and move forward with whatever is next and break through some barriers that you didn't realize were there. Like
Yep.
just listening to people talk freestyle,
Yeah.
you just hear it. It
Mhm.
comes through very clear, like some of the things that are in their way
Yeah.
and
Right.
what's next.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that said, that is kind of like the 3 hours, right?
Yeah,
that we
that's the
spend.
meat.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of how a mastermind works on the regular every month with the summers off. And so what we did was we planned out 1 year. We're like, well, let's see how this goes.
It's an experiment.
Right. We don't know if we're good at this, but we think we're good at this. And then some of the ladies in our first year were like, are you going to do a year two?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're
hey,
in.
we got more topics. We got more
Yep,
things we
yep.
think that are pertinent that were definitely important to us. So we created a year two.
Yeah, with a different set of curriculum
Absolutely.
topics to discuss, so we didn't
Different trip.
repeat. Yeah, and a different trip. This one is a little more exotic.
A little more international. And then that said, so then after that, so we have this year, we're going into year three. And we're like, okay, these people have evolved and grown so much.
So much.
What could we offer them? And should we take ourselves out of the way and just say, like, and you're done?
Right. Yeah, do you graduate and
Right. Don't know, right?
we're not friends anymore? No, we couldn't do that.
Right. And we also didn't want to abandon people if they still had a need for us, but
Yeah.
also our capacity too, to be
Yeah.
able to continue to reach out and, help people grow at maybe like the beginning stages or whatever stage they're at. So we decided to evolve our year threes and beyond to a quarterly with an annual retreat.
Yeah. Super excited.
Masterminds. Yeah. And I felt like when we presented that to the group that they felt like that was the best
It was
next
like
trajectory.
an answered prayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we all recognize like you graduate out of the grade that you're in. Like
Yes.
you spend enough time
You need
and then
to.
you need to move into the next
So
thing.
true.
And sometimes you need to even be pushed into the next thing
Right.
because that's how you grow. And recognizing like the evolution that the people are in, it's time for the next thing, but we're not going to abandon you. We're not going to stop supporting your journey.
No, not at all.
But we can change the frequency and the way that it looks.
Right.
And I think that that was just super well received and allows them to transition into the quarterly with us and then maybe seek individual coaching or therapy or
Whatever the thing
whatever
is,
the thing
wherever they're
is,
at.
they
Yeah.
pursue an educational path, whatever it is, like it frees up time for them to do that next. And
Yes.
I just really felt like that was like a perfect blend. And then they can be in that year 3 and beyond as long as they want. Like
Right.
be part of our collective, like be in our orbit as long as you want. Like we're bonded.
Yeah, and
You're
we
not
will
getting-
support
you're
you,
not-
right? It's not like
Yeah.
we're going to just drop you and be like, and best of luck to you. No, 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 no. You are
Right.
in our group, and we have even more things that we have decided we want to continue to unveil for anyone who's been in our mastermind groups. You know, like we want to keep supporting these amazing women who are doing amazing things in our communities, in other communities, because we know we've had help along the way.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes one person to shift the trajectory of someone,
Oh
right?
my God. I've seen it happen.
Right.
So we haven't talked about this, but let's go back to the confidentiality of the
Oh,
experience
yes. Thank you for
because
that.
that's a really important part,
Yes.
which also leads to like after year 3. I feel like we're like I want them all to meet each other
Yeah.
because there's so many like
Right,
minds. Like the
right.
whole point of this was to unite like minds.
Right.
So from the beginning, talk a little bit about how we
Yeah.
create the safe container.
Yeah, so everyone who decides that they're going to be part of the group needs to sign an NDA. And that means that they are not allowed to share who's in the group, right?
Yeah. It's ultimately it's confidential and private
Yes.
in what you share.
Yes.
What happens here stays here.
Yes.
Even down to who's in your group.
Exactly.
You don't talk about it.
No, and that's why we wanted to share this information via podcast
Yeah.
because we present amongst 5 people and we acknowledge like our reach is 5 people, which is fantastic because one-on-one work is beautiful.
Yeah.
But we could create this content, this space where we can reach more. Anyways, I digress. The NDA. Yes, we have them sign this, a
Yeah.
confidentiality agreement,
Yeah.
sorry. And that agreement just blankets coverage, and not only of them, but of us.
Yeah.
We won't talk about our clients unless they ask us to. So yeah.
Certainly if somebody wants to say, like,
Oh, for sure.
I'm working with Mariah and Monique and I'm in this mastermind, I mean, we're not going to stop them. Like,
No.
If they want to shout that from a mountaintop,
Right.
like, by all means, take me on Instagram.
Right.
However, they may be in a place in their journey where that does not feel safe. They need to have that container and privacy, and we fully respect that and want to create that for them. And that
Mhm.
really does allow a vulnerability that you wouldn't get otherwise. And I think we're in a small town, like really everybody knows everybody. Like
Yeah.
it's important to be able to share in that. And so we start out with that.
Yes.
And we go through basically 2 years of the group in that structure. And what we're hoping in year 3, again, all experiment, is that the groups start to merge, that they then get to know each other. And ultimately, I guess we're launching this today. We create a collective,
Yes.
a collective of amazing people that can do all sorts of cool things.
Mhm.
That now we're united through our group and we can share these talents with the world. And we would love to host interviews with members of our collective on the
Yes.
podcast
Yes.
and hear about their journeys. And those that want to participate, like we welcome it. But we
Share their
also-
expertise. We have so many
Oh my
experts and
gosh,
so many
like-
amazing things.
I've learned so much.
I know, right?
So
Yeah.
things I didn't even know could be careers, like so cool. And then people that want to remain anonymous obviously have that opportunity as well. But it gives us an avenue to then take things more publicly and allow us to help promote and share the talents of the women that we've been supporting.
Yes. I love that.
I love this for us.
Boy, 3 years in and
Oh,
we're still like
man.
so
We're,
jazzed
like,
about
so
it.
into this.
I know, we
Yes.
totally
Well,
are.
it just keeps evolving,
I
and I mean, it's
know.
real stuff.
Great.
So, yeah. Well, we've covered like pretty much everything. I think the only thing we didn't talk about that is something we took from a past mastermind, but have evolved, is using a book reading a
Oh,
book.
yes, a resource.
As
Yes.
a resource as part of our retreat. And in fact, shout out to our past masterminds. The books that we first read, it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, is a huge
Fantastic
part
book.
of our mastermind
Yeah.
experience. And
Yes.
so we select a book. In year 1, there's 2 books, one first retreat, and then we do one after the summer break. And then in year 2, 2 different books. And we use those to guide the retreat itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's been really well received.
Absolutely. I feel like, so you do a little bit of introspection on your life, you know, a little bit of journeying about what's it all about, what's my why, and then you get to this retreat and you've read this book that's very carefully like crafted and picked by us that we feel is real, and then we have topics of conversation about it that lead you into these deeper dives of like, oh, okay, so it's just really golden when we do it. I feel like,
For
yeah,
instance, the first book that we do in our
year one
Mhm. retreat is called
burnout.
Burnout by
Gosh, yeah.
Emily and her twin sister. I'm going to blank on the name. We'll link to that in the show notes. Nagoski
Amazing
twins.
book. Yeah.
And it hits at such an important part of the journey because
Yes.
often what has led them to join is burnout.
Yes.
Like how they landed with us is like, I'm looking for any port
Pants
in a
on
storm,
fire.
right?
Right.
And that book is just absolutely life-changing
Mhm.
and just provides amazing content for discussion. So we center that first retreat around aspects of that book. And we always choose material that is easy to read, digest, and honestly, that I want to read over and over
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Every time before it, I reread it. And then I'm like,
Yes.
oh, damn, this is good.
Right.
I use this.
forgot
right
about
now.
this,
I forgot
or-
about this.
yeah.
So it's been really cool because I'm a huge consumer of this, you know, books and podcasts and all of
Mhm.
that. And I always want to share. And so then to get
Mhm.
to bring other people along on that journey has personally been very rewarding. But yeah, I feel like that's been huge. And we also keep a resource list for clients of books and podcasts and
Yes.
topics that come up in every meeting, so that as the group can revisit that. And then, you know, inevitably everyone is like, oh, let me text you the link to that book, or let me share an
Mhm.
episode of a
Mhm.
podcast. So we're very connected as a group in
Yeah.
terms of all of the external resources beyond us. And I found that that's just been like, I just like have an endless list of
Yeah,
things
and I
to
don't even think
consume.
that was part of like any mastermind we had participated in. I think it was like
Yes.
suggested reading, but we didn't build a retreat or a topic subject around it. It was just more
Yeah.
like read the book or something like
Yeah.
that, right? I don't.
I,
Yeah.
I remember The Big Leap.
Okay,
That's
I
the
do
one
too.
I
Yeah,
remember.
that was so
and it
good.
was like, oh, it's really good. But it even means more to me today than it did
Yes.
then.
Yes. Such a good
So,
book.
yeah, that's a cool part. And the retreat's magical. I
Oh.
mean, we laugh, we drink wine, we do vision boarding.
Yeah.
If we can get ourselves
Mhm.
in a hot tub or a sauna, or you know, kind of depends on where
Or
we
Lake
are,
Superior.
or jump in the lake. That
Uh-huh.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like really good bonding time, and our goal ultimately is to be able to facilitate retreats around the world for our groups.
Oh, yes.
Because I mean, you heard us in our other episodes, like travel's kind of thing.
It's kind of our thing. Yeah.
So if we can take groups of women on the road and experience life with them, it's actually the growth that happens.
Right. Like I was saying earlier,
Unbelievable.
once you take yourself out of your life
Yep.
and you have this thing that's in front of you and you can look at what's going on, you're able to see more clearly. You're
And
not in it.
You're not in it. And
Right.
it's so empowering, and you can be inspired, and those side conversations that happen like in a train station or an airport, or like, you know, you just you just really go through it together. You're in it together. So I'm stoked about that. And like we're taking suggestions for future retreat locations that you might want
We
to
might have some ideas.
to go with us. Yeah, we've got
We-
some already
we,
teed up.
we might have some ideas.
Yeah. So in conclusion, actually, apparently we can go on about this topic
A
all
lot.
day.
Well, that's why we're here.
It's why we're here. I would hope so. We are going to be opening the books for the next 5 members of the Heart and Soul Mastermind.
Yes.
Probably in December. We're opening the books for 5 new members of the Heart and Soul
Yes.
Mastermind. They're open now.
Mhm.
And so if you're listening or you're sharing this podcast because, you know, maybe you're already a fan and you think that there's somebody, whether it's yourself or someone you know, that could really benefit from joining a group of like-minded women. We didn't really say that, but we started out with a focus on women because
Yes.
it's what we know best. So the
Women
current-
identifying.
women
actually,
identifying.
really.
Yep.
Yes.
So currently that's the makeup of this group. But yes, if you know anyone that you think that would be a really good fit for this, send them our way. Like DM us, email us,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, smoke signals, however you feel compelled, because we want to get the group formed and ready to go before the start of the new year.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the skies for those smoke signals,
Okay.
Mariah. Watch the skies.
Watch the skies.
That was awesome.
Yes.
But yes, we would love to have just fresh blood. No, I mean, I didn't say that.
Oh my God, you sound like a vampire. We're looking for fresh blood.
We would love to just meet our next besties.
I just can't wait to meet them.
I
don't
know.
even know who they are. I just know that they're there and they're going to find us.
And they're amazing.
And there's so much growth and so much potential and space. I can't wait to create a safe space for them to
flourish.
To flourish.
Yeah.
Flourish is a good word.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There you go. If you know someone, if not this year, maybe next year. But we're kind of planning to be in this for a while. So
kind of. Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. So you can find us on the heartandsoulmastermind.com. We'll get there. Link in the show notes. I got this. And go to the website for all the updated information about how to reach out and show interest. And until our next podcast with Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.
Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show, and if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.